Hi, welcome to my channel and welcome to my live, should I say show today? Okay, so I'll be talking about discipline. Remember, my channel is a family content related channel where I talk about motherhood, family, and relationships. So today I'll be talking about um discipline. Yeah. You know what discipline means to a mother most times? Is very different from what it means to a child. To the child, discipline most times to a child is punishment. As a mom or as a parent, you want to discipline your child, they automatically sees it as you punishing them or or wickedness. I'm laughing because I remember, well, when I was a child, when I was younger, we had friends that we play with in the environment. So there was this day, a friend of mine was sick. We're neighbors and classmates. So she was sick and she didn't go to school. She was at home. She didn't go to school. So her mom, when we were back from school, we met her, you know, when it was time for play. Children have their playtime, especially those ones that are growing, maybe you're up to 8. You understand? You have your playtime. So we were outside and playing. Her mom instructed her to be indoors, considering the fact that she was sick. Someone who is sick shouldn't come out. She came out to play. So when her mom accidentally bumped in on her, saw her playing, her mom flogged her. Her mom flogged her, and then the ill health got worse. So I remember that day she was busy screaming and shouting that her mom is showing her wickedness. So that is my point today. If you're just joining me, you're welcome in. I'm talking about discipline, disciplining a child. What discipline means to a mother or to a parent is entirely different from what it means to children, to the kids. Now, this is depending on how you discipline that child. Sometimes parents discipline their kids from a place, should I say a place of um hate? Not hate particularly, but they overly do it. It's discipline, but they've overly done it. Now, you want to discipline your child. Your child have done something wrong and you want to discipline your child. Some parents go as far as using very bitter words. Some parents go as far as using harmful objects. Some parents go as far as depriving that child basic needs just because they want to prove a point. Okay, I think sometime last week I saw a child. I think that child shouldn't be up to 8 years old, and the child stays with a family, not his mom. I didn't really follow through to understand what the story is about. Just looking at the body of the child, I concluded that whoever has done that to a child is not human. You know, you can discipline a child, you can actually beat a child, but you don't have to use harmful objects on that child. So this picture of a child I saw had injuries from nylon leader. They said the woman in question uses nylon leader on the skin of that child. Like, what exactly will a child do to you that prompts you to use, melt a nylon leader and drop it on the skin of that child? That's absolute wickedness. That is inhumanity, you know. So, you're welcome. I'm doing fine. Lion Park, you're welcome. I'm talking about discipline, discipline children, things parents do, guardians do that are totally inhuman. You want to discipline your child. There are heights you don't go in disciplining your child. That child immediately concludes or sees you as an enemy, a wicked person, or an abuser. You know, you want to discipline your child. I will not tell you how to discipline your child, but then there are things you don't do. You don't use harsh words in the name of disciplining your child. Thank you, Lion Park. Hi. Thanks for joining. You don't use harsh words in disciplining your child. Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. Who is to determine the heights? I'm a parent and I'm advising other parents that you are not to go inhuman to discipline your child. This is a human being, regardless of their age at the moment. Now, this question is going to drive me to my major point. Do you know that as a parent, if you are so harsh, abusive, or if that child perceives you as a wicked parent, do you know that when they become of age, same way you treated them, they are likely going to treat you that way and conclude it is normal? Because when they were vulnerable to you, you didn't see it as wrong. They will definitely act same way to you. That is why when you want to discipline your children, I have children, and when I want to discipline my kids, I let them understand that this is what you did this, and because you did this, this is the punishment. I don't starve them. I don't flog them as an animal. I don't stone at them. I don't use harsh words at my children. Okay, I know that you love to take sweets. You love to eat biscuits. You love a bigger portion of the meat. You love to dress in a certain manner. You have done that which is wrong. I will deprive you of that. Now, I'm not depriving you of that for days. I'm not depriving you for that for hours. I'm only going to deprive you of that for that period. And then I am teaching my child how to also be apologetic, to apologize. Now, I know my child wants to dress in this manner. Inhuman is subjective, technically. Everything a human does is human, and some kids who were never disciplined turn bad at the same rate as those who were harshly disciplined. No, you're not getting my point there. Moreover, you're welcome. I'm trying to pronounce your name, Cedric Mats. You're welcome in. I understand from the angle you're going, but the honest truth is, if you discipline your children in an inhuman manner, just like I told you, I saw on the net a certain woman melts a polythene leader and drops it on the skin of a child. That child shouldn't be up to 10 years. And records has it that it is not her child, which is the most inhuman thing a fellow woman, a mother, can do. You're a mother, you know the pain bearing a child, growing that child, and just because you feel you didn't beat that child is not your blood, you are disciplining that child in the most inhuman way ever. One thing most people don't really understand is that life is very unpredictable. That child is subject to you today, and you can do that to that child. What about tomorrow? you are aged, that child is grown, that child can never see you as a human. That child can never believe that, oh, you have emotions, you can get hurt, I shouldn't do this to this person. No. Rather, that child is going to see it as normal. That is my point here. I'm not saying you shouldn't discipline your child, but what height, what level of discipline are you giving to that child? I've seen parents use sharp objects on their children. I've seen parents use sharp objects on their children. Note, I know that some children can be a handful. I understand that. And you will need some level of authorities to handle that child. But before we get to that level, hmm, most times children who, you know, grow up and begin to act wild were never called to order. Those are not the kind of people I'm talking about. Before it gets out of hand, what have you been doing? You know, like I said, this is a family related um content channel. And if you can go through, I have talked about this before, discipline. Any parent who refuses to discipline their child actually gets themselves and their child into trouble. Yes. But my point today is, how do you discipline your child? I've met parents who use curse words on their children. Like a child did something bad and then they start cursing the child. They curse the child even into the future of that child. They have concluded that that child will amount to nothing and life will be so difficult for that child and child will be left behind. These are words that when you use on the child doesn't even know what they have done wrong, can never know what they've done wrong, can't have a change of mind or attitude. Okay, you have accepted that I am like this, that is how I'm going to be. You understand? Discipline here, like I have highlighted, I said, my own children, when I know you want sweets, you have done that thing that is wrong. I know you love to eat meat, a bigger portion. I'll give you a tiny piece, or I won't even put at all. Then, when you feel bad, I'll explain to you that you have done this thing. This is what is deserving. Now, tomorrow, that child doesn't want to repeat that act. He or she is so sorry that she doesn't want to repeat that act. And it has been helping me. That you see me get an object and hit my child, know that that child has gone so extreme. And I don't hit that child like I'm hitting some sort of a stone or a rock or an animal. No, I don't do that. And that is my point. Okay, see, the problem is not really discipline. Some people are not even meant to be parents and have nowhere near the skills to parent, and some who know parenting, how far to go, but sadly, both have kids. Wow, this is actually a deeper part of what I'm talking about. I understand from what angle you are coming from, and it is sad. Okay, welcome in. Thank you for joining. If you're just joining me, thank you and welcome in. Okay, so like I was saying, if you're going to discipline your child, you said the problem is not really discipline. Some people are not even meant. Actually, some people are not meant to be kids. Okay, I wouldn't like. I don't meant to be parents. I wouldn't like to digress. But then, I was surfing the net some days ago, and then I saw a girl. Like, this is a grown lady. She was sobbing, crying. And then, why was she crying? She was crying about her childhood, how she was so obedient to her mother or her parents, and it has landed her into her present condition. Okay, so while growing up, according to her story, she said her mother wanted her to live a certain kind of life. Okay, now I understood that her mother wanted her to live a decent life. But to her, what decency meant to the mother isn't what decency actually means to the child. So this is your point here. The problem is that it's not really discipline. Some people are not even meant, some parents actually wants their child to live the life they didn't live. Now, judging from the angle of that girl, her parents actually aren't meant to be parents, because how will you subject your child to get married from a particular, not just a state, not just a community, a particular village, and the girl, according to her story, married from this particular village. And according to her mother, women who are married into that village are seen to be extremely well raised children. Now, they didn't consider the family that child is going to be married into. If the men or children from that village or family are as disciplined as the girl. Now, I wouldn't like to use the word she used, but she said that the family she was married into, the brothers molest their daughters. You can imagine. So it has left her shattered. So according to her, her mother led her to her downfall. But that's not really what I'm talking about today. What I'm talking about is discipline. The heights you go in disciplining your children. Okay, thank you. I can't really pronounce your name. Oh, thank you. Thank you. You're welcome. Okay, what I was saying is discipline. It's not really it's not really sad, my dear. Like, some people know how to cook well, and others pass years and years cooking. But still, sadly, the thing is that when it is about parenting, the stakes are way higher. Okay, I really do not know from what region you are from. I am from Africa, and I am from West Africa. I am from a country, Nigeria. And in Nigeria, parenting is not done by a single person. If I can understand what you're saying, it's really sad, my dear. Like, some people, sadly, the thing is that when it's about parenting, stick away. Like I was saying, from where I'm coming from, parenting is not left to one person. It's just that civilization has come and changed a lot of things. I will not tell another parent how to raise their child because of civilization. But previously, a child was not meant to be raised alone. Neighbors, families, like extended families, can discipline a child, can raise a child, you know. So if um you feel the mother is being too harsh, that child has relatives. That's, if I really understand what you are saying, that child has relatives that can caution the mother. Caution. That is, if the mother is abusive. But unfortunately, in our present world, parenting has been narrowed to mom to parents. And that is why I am saying that to discipline your child, you shouldn't go so high, like go out of limits. Yes, there are limits, there are lines you shouldn't cross, because when that child grows up, that child will not see that as discipline. That child will see it as being abusive. Yeah, thank you, Kirilaka. You're welcome in. Thank you for joining. That child will not see you as being a disciplinarian, or my mom or my dad wants me to live like this. That child will see you as being abusive. And truth be told, if not 100% of adults, 80% of adults have a problem with their parents. Parenting. Who is this person? Okay. Okay. Children like expecting a 16-year-old to raise a child. Wow. Okay. You see, this will be a topic for another day. Like this very comment here will be a topic for another day, honestly. Because I understand from what angle you are coming from. There's what they call child abuse. Hmm? Girl child abuse precisely. And that is the angle you are coming out from. And honestly, I don't want to go there now because it's broad, like really broad. But I'm not God, so I cannot say this person should have a child or that person should have a child. It's not in my hands. But for those who have gotten children, I am just saying as a mother, know how to discipline your child. Know how to discipline. Don't be brutal. Don't be brutal. Don't be violent. Don't use harsh words. Don't use objects that can bruise that child, deform that child. You know, don't use those kind of objects on your child. That's what I'm saying. I am saying that because outcome, the future outcome, that child will grow up to despise you as a parent, to despise you as a mom or a dad. That child will not think about you being loving. Oh, my parents wants this for me, wants that for me. That was why they were this way to me. That child will see it that way. And again, when they go and associate with friends who starts telling them, infusing things in their minds. Okay, but I understand your angle too, but we have a violent society. When domestic abuse is a thing, children will suffer too. Actually, actually, that's the truth. And that is why I am here saying that you and I can make that difference. The way I was raised as a child, I don't think I want to raise my own child that way because at some point I saw it as I was not even loved. You know, this they say you are not loved at home. That is because before you make a statement, you have been slapped. You can't even speak. And if you speak, you can't speak freely. And if you must speak freely, you don't make eye contact. You can understand. Yes, so I am not raising my child that way. Yes, I'm your mom. Yes, I'm your parent. But you are a human being who can make decisions, who should make decisions for yourself. I give my children that opportunity to say yes or no to me. And if I know that that yes is going to bring a future problem to them, I insist on a no, explaining why is a no. Because I understand that when they grow up, they will realize that I did it out of love. And they will see reasons why they shouldn't have done what I asked not to be done. That is the way I'm raising my children. I'm raising my children with so much love. And I am advocating that every parent should learn to raise their children with so much love. When they see you, they see love. They understand that they are being loved. They don't see you as a terror. And I am not raising them as, you know, wayward, like some people call gentle parenting. Sometimes, not always. But the key point is that I'm not raising children who will grow up to be violent tomorrow. I'm not raising children who will grow up to despise their parents. Yes, no one can see what tomorrow brings, but I'm not raising the child who will look at you tomorrow and for no reason just detest your being around them. And that is this is bringing me to the conclusion of my topic and life today. So, for all of you who joined me, said dream, I appreciate. Thanks, thanks, thanks. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for joining. Thanks for your comments. I really appreciate. each and every one of you. Thank you, and see you next time on my next life. I'm grateful. Have a good evening and bye.